I'm Richard Gale, and the module is Political Geography, Space, Place and Power. The aim of the module really is to get students to think critically about the relationships between people, place and politics. Really it's about them thinking about themselves in relation to the world they inhabit and how politics shapes that, starting from where they are and moving up to the scale of the globe and international relations and so on. It looks at people and places, as I say, but it's also about how places are shaped by politics at multiple scales. So, for example, it could be about neighbourhood politics, about how people identify with their particular neighbourhood, their turf, and it might be also how they defend that place. It might be that they, in subtle ways, they mark their territory through graffiti, through murals, or it could be about even using violence to keep outsiders out of their place. At another scale, it's about city politics, about how cities vie for power with one another. It's also about national politics. So, for example, why we identify strongly as Welsh or as English, as British. How, for example, at another scale, we think about ourselves as British vis-à-vis the European Union. And then finally, it's also about global international relationships. It's about how states try to maintain control over territory, how they try to get access to resources. Also, fundamentally, it's about how states try to determine their internal relationships, and the question of what right does a state have to organise and govern its people without intervention from outside, and the flip side of that, at what point do other states have a right to step in, to intervene, to begin to interfere, the so-called international community, and so on. So it's politics at a number of scales. Above all, what they learn is critical thinking. They learn to not take for granted certain assumed notions about people and place and about politics. You know, often we come to ideas of politics with a kind of ready-to-hand assumption about what it is. You know, it's about the government, and it's about decisions that are taken that we aren't necessarily directly implicated in. So really it's about trying to get students to put themselves into the picture and think about people, place and politics as it affects them, but then as it, building out from that how it affects others at a range of scales. So critical thinking is key. And analysis of particular contemporary case studies. So it's really about engagement with current real-world issues, the Middle East, what's happening in Syria and Iraq, the relationship between Russia and the European Union, issues over resource allocation and gas and oil and so on. So it's very, very much about engaging in their contemporary world.